Good afternoon, Rattler Nation. All right. I'm glad to be back. It's just like a homecoming. Well, I got one question. Who's number one? Is it ASU or is it FAMU? Who's number one? Okay. I bring you greetings from the unsinkable Albany State University in Albany, Georgia, on behalf of our president, Dr. Marion Fedrick, and our athletic director, Tony Duckworth. You know, we are just glad that you all invited us here for this festive occasion as we prepare for the Tallahassee takeover. Okay? All right, we are the unsinkable Albany State University because back in 1994, we had that big flood, and it covered 90% of our campus. And at that point, the university system of Georgia was thinking about closing and shutting down Albany State. But our president at the time, Dr. Billy C. Black, he fought hard, and he ensured that ASU would be bigger and stronger, and that we are. And we're bigger and stronger in athletics because with our coach, Coach Giardina, we are currently the reigning SIC champions. So Coach G likes to win like I do. And so my job now as assistant athletic director, when he brings in the horses, it's my job to make sure they get out on the field and stay on the field. And so he and I, we make a great team. All right, now, before I left Albany State, the ASU officials told me, they said, Coach Moore, this is not a social trip, this is a business trip. I said, what? So, let's get down to business. Who's ready for the Golden Ram takeover in Tallahassee in September? Who's ready for that? And actually, that's what we call it in Albany State. We call it the Tallahassee takeover. And so we played FAMU back in I think the last time was maybe 1986 when we was still Albany State College. And unfortunately, Rattlers, it didn't work out too good for you that day. I mean, it was raining, but them Golden Ram, we were hustling, bustling, rumbling, and stumbling, and we brought the victory back down to Albany, Georgia. But we understand now that it's a new day, but we are still ready for the challenge. And so we have Coach G here. He's just done a wonderful job. He's ignited our program back to prominence like we've always had it in the past. And so with the Albany State alumni, because I'm an Albany State alum, we are just glad that you all gave us the opportunity to play you all again. Thank you, Coach Simmons. We're excited about that. And it's just like a home game for us. In fact, Rattler Nation, we got a host hotel down here in y'all city. You know, it's actually the Tallahassee takeover. So we're looking for some great things, and I'm just glad to be back, and thank you all for having us.
Darlene, I'm going to answer your question about who's going to be number one. And I'm going to do it this way. It's my pleasure to introduce the head coach of the Florida A&M University Rattlers, Coach Willie Simmons.
Good afternoon, Rattlers. Good to see everyone here today. Coach Moore, good to see you again. Enjoyed working beside you during our time at Florida A&M on the House of Seven Hills. So today isn't my typical Wednesday assignment. I'm here to introduce a phenomenal football coach, an individual who I've had the honor of working with, getting to know over the last few years. Coach Giardina up at Albany State. We first kind of ran into each other, made contact spring of 2020 when obviously the pandemic was going on and we had canceled the football season. And so being that the SWAC was playing spring games and we weren't, the NCAA allowed us to do some controlled scrimmages. And so we reached out to, actually were contacted by Coach Giardina up at Albany State asking if we wanted to participate in a controlled scrimmage. They were doing one with the University of West Florida, and we thought it would be a great idea to do that, being that our guys got tired of hitting up on each other every single day. And so after a lot of planning, getting approval from the NCAA, Coach brought his team down, and we had a very, very great scrimmage that I think really benefited both teams. When you look at the fact that Coach Giardina won the SIAC this past season, and I think ended up with six shutouts? Yeah, seven shutouts. So again, played arguably the best defense in all of Division II football, and again, guys did a phenomenal job. And then we were blessed enough to be able to work alongside Coach Giardina and his staff down in New Orleans at the first ever Legacy Bowl. And so, of course, our offensive staff got a chance to go and coach, and Coach's defensive staff got a chance to coach. So we worked side by side, hand in hand for 4 days. Really got a great opportunity to sit down with Coach, kind of his philosophy, and get to just fellowship with his staff. And it was kind of unique, being that the arrangement for the Legacy Bowl, not sure if any of you remember, but we were both head coaches for the team. And so trying to, have team meetings where you got two head coaches, that was interesting, a very interesting dynamic. But had a chance to talk to the team before the game. I went first and kind of gave a quick pregame speech. And, of course, Coach Giardina came behind me, and it brought the house down, So a ball of energy, very energetic, high energy, just fiery guy. You see why those guys enjoy playing for him. They do a phenomenal job. He, just like many of us, has been a victim of success. Of course, when you win games, people start to come and poach your coaches for opportunities. And so defensive coordinator, and I think offensive coordinator as well. Quarterback coach, so lost a few coaches to some other opportunities, just like we have as well. So again, that's one of the downsides to being successful, is people want to come and take the good coaches away from you. So, but again, just gives me great honor to introduce him. Again, a great friend of mine, a guy I have a ton of respect for, and make no mistake about it, we know that when the Golden Rams come down to Tallahassee, that we better strap it on to be ready to play football, because they hit, and they hit you hard. And they showed us that last spring, when we were able to do that controlled scrimmage. So excited about the opportunity to bring a championship caliber coach and team to the highest of 7 Hills. I think it'll go a long ways in our strength of schedule, being that we're playing the conference champions from not only the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, but also the SIAC as well. So without further ado, give a huge Rattler welcome to the head coach of Albany State University, Coach Gabe Giardina.
Man, that's like being third in the batting order between two great hitters right here. Jeez, I hope the pitcher's gonna lob a softball up here to me. I've never said this before, but hello, Rattler Nation. Wow, ooh, didn't feel right, did it? Oh man, I tried to go around to every table beforehand just to say hello, introduce myself. I'm trying not to get snake bit up in here. And I will say this, my grandmother, bless her heart, she's gone to be with the Lord. But she used to, when I was in college, she used to send me money. She used to write me these letters, and between every page was $1. So I would always hope it was real thick. If I could get $10 out of that thing, I'd read her letter, right? All 10 pages. Use those small pages. But she used to tell me, never turn down money. So, I will tell you this, I know this is a great fundraising group. Hey, I will sell you this helmet right here as a part of the Albany State Golden Ram Takeover if we win a bid after this, okay? We start at $100, we can get to 1,000 in a heartbeat. And all money is good money, Rattler money, Ram money, it's all green and collectible in the sight of the Lord. So just wanted to say that. Got to give a quick shout out to a couple of my church members. They are FAMU grads, Taloya and Corey Clear. They wanted me to personally let you know they've been being rude to me for a long time, talking trash on your behalf about the game that's coming up here Corey specifically wants you to know that he was not just a member of the Marching 100, but he was in the percussion section, which in his eyes is clearly the elite level of the band there. So one of the neat things, like Coach was saying, getting to work the Legacy Bowl, is I'm kind of a college football historian, and when we were going originally to kind of kick off the Orange Blossom Classic again, I read this great book called Breaking the Line, and in there, half of the book is about Jake Gaither and Ken Riley and the 1967 season that Grambling and FAMU had. And so I just, as an appreciator of college football and what it has taken to be successful, it's neat for me to stand here where perhaps someone like Coach Gaither and Ken maybe have stood before, and Coach Simmons and so many great coaches and supporters. And it's neat for me just getting to know Vaughn over the last year. I know some of you know or may not know, he's got a blue shirt under that jacket, okay? He worked for us. I say that Vaughn, he didn't just work for us from a sports information standpoint. He really saved us and got us going in a direction that was so D1 it wasn't even fathomable. I just can't think. And please give Vaughn a hand for me. I mean, just a great friend. You know, certain people you meet in your life and you like instantly connect. And he's been one of those people for me. Coach Simmons, thank you for that nice introduction. If you could send those notes to my wife, that would be helpful. I'm much, yeah, you made me sound good. I have looked for reasons. I know we're going to play Coach Simmons, and I keep looking for reasons to like not like Coach. You know, you're supposed to not like this guy. And Coach has just been first class. His staff down there in New Orleans, first class group of guys. So excited for KJ Black and the opportunity that he's gained himself to go with the Rams. And Coach has been a victim of success too. And just I see Coach, and I say this to anybody that really will listen to me, as a leader amongst, you know, coaches who are coaching at HBCUs, and has done such a great job just magnifying the product that we have and developing coaches, and have just heard him say some things that I think, man, like that's it right there, and that's what you want to be about, and as a team and as a staff. Our team last year, so blessed to coach such a great group of people, to go 10-1 in the regular season, and to make it to the NCAA playoffs. Unfortunately, not getting it done in the first round there, but to host a home game, huge deal for us. To be the number 4 seed in Region 2, and when you look at Division 2 in regions, there's no tougher region. You know, I've talked to coaches all over the country. I'm like, man, this Region 2 is unbelievable. You know, it's like 4 straight national champions in a row from our region here, and so excited that we have 18 starters coming back. Excited that we're discontent with the way the season ended. One of our great players is a Tallahassee native. Coach wasn't here when he was getting recruited, so y'all let him slip through your hands. Coach would have never let that happen. But Stephon Pierre is a senior linebacker, number 31. He played at Lincoln Tallahassee High School. Great young man. He's in grad school. He's going to finish his graduate degree this fall. You know, I hope he gets a chance to play at the next level. But I know this, Stephon Pierre is a next level person. And I was telling one of the gentlemen here in the room, I said, one of you needs to hire this guy. He is just a hard-working guy. Goes to class. Right now he works at an auto shop store in Albany, changing back. He shows up every day to workouts with like grease all over him. I'm like, Pierre, hey, what have you been doing? You know, wrestling a car? You know, coach, I changed 12 batteries a day and made 13 shipments. You know, I mean, this guy is just like a pure linebacker. You know, he's like a snake. I don't know. He never gets hit hard. You know, I've seen these linebackers. He's like a snake. You can't get your hands on him. But just a great kid, and a wonderful person. Super excited, obviously, to represent our university, and President Federick. And you guys don't know this. Dr. Moore is not just a Albany State grad. She's an Albany State Hall of Famer. She is a Fort Valley State Hall of Famer, which we know that's a low bar. Okay, we know that's low. Okay, but she's also in the Hall of Fame here at FAMU. I mean, 3-time Hall of Famer. I get to work with a coach that has won so much, and it's not just a professional relationship. This is a personal thing. I mean, she has bailed us out so many times, and when she talks about getting the horses to the gate, like sometimes she's pulling the rope, you know. And so she's like having another football coach on our staff, and it's such a relief to work with folks like that, and also Coach Duckworth, who's been a coach before as well. And I don't know, Coach, you may maybe you can add AD to your title. So, but anyway, Vaughn and I were talking. One of the things I think is kind of on my heart a little bit is just state of affairs in HBCU college football. And so when I think about that, I think about just like the emerging respect that I've seen for our programs as they've grown over the last couple of years. I think FAMU, and I hate to say this, even Jackson State, kind of lead the way with that as far as just the power of the brand. And one of the reasons we wanted to play so bad is you really uplift us. When we get to play a FAMU, such a quality opponent, that has so much brand recognition and so much history and tradition and great alumni, that uplifts our program too. And we want to be a part of that. I think that Coach and many of the other coaches, Coach Sanders or Coach Prime and really Buddy Pugh at South Carolina State kind of lead the way for us. And I enjoy just being able to call Coach and talk about different issues, things that come up with our team, and just kind of guide our team forward, because we want to be as top a brand as there is in Division II football, and I think we're on our way to doing that. I think non-conference dominance outside of the SWAC for you, outside of the SIC for us, is tremendously important. We were 2-0 against the Gulf South last year. That just increases our credibility. Coach was talking about strength of schedule. I think that's critically important to go play other teams in FCS with national brands and let people know how good guys like Isaiah Land are. I've got the game plan right here, Coach. It's block 31, okay? I mean, somebody, we might have to pray. I don't know. Coach was talking about that scrimmage. Okay, we show up, we watch very little film. We're looking at structures, we're not looking at people. And all of a sudden, 31 is out there destroying our left tackle, and I'm going, who is this 215-pound kid? Where is it? And then I look, and it says, oh, he's from Brookwood High School in Georgia. I'm like, well, you're welcome, okay, that we gave you a Georgia guy. But that's important, and I think the game that you guys are playing against North Carolina at the beginning of the season, I think doing those things, that's long-term big vision, and puts us in a spotlight and in front of eyeballs that we can't get ourselves all the time. I think the Celebration Bowl excitement and the things that go around that game and the combination of the excitement between the SWAC and the MEAC and building that game is hugely important. And I know just for Georgia, period, we enjoy it because it's a great economic impact in the city of Atlanta that reverberates. I mean, we have so many of our alums that go to that game, and they talk to me about it all the time. It's really, really a neat thing. Playoff appearances and wins. I think it's critical what Coach did last year. All right, maybe not winning the conference, but getting to the playoffs and having that national television audience and playing against good teams. And now, hey, it's seeing our job. Hey, we got to go win that game, right? We got to get beyond that. The HBCU Legacy Bowl, I think, it boggles my mind, the visibility that has created through social media and the number of guys that were in camps based off of being in that game, and now that have signed contracts and done more than just get a tryout. It's been absolutely amazing. And then we need guys. I'm going to brag on Albany State here for a second. We need guys like Grover Stewart. Grover Stewart, 4th-round draft pick in 2017. I did not coach him. I cannot claim any impact upon him other than I know him now, and that's a great human being and ambassador for Albany State and for HBCU football. Grover Stewart is one of the top 10 paid defensive linemen in the National Football League. He wears number 98 for the Indianapolis Colts. He makes $10 million a year. You can look that up. I looked it up on the way here. I want to make sure I gave you the right facts. Okay. This is not, coaches that go over exaggerate all the time, right? We are liars, okay? I am not lying right now. Coach says the O-line's playing good, you know what I'm saying? He's really going, that O-line stinks. That right guard can't block anybody, okay? And he can't say that in front of you. I can today, okay? I don't know what's going on with that guy, okay? But really, Grover is also an Albany State graduate. He's a South Georgia guy. And we just need things like that. And we need people like groups like this who really are putting money in our pocket of our program in scholarships and things like that to help magnify the accomplishments of a Grover Stewart, to magnify the accomplishments of a coach of safety that's on the Cowboys roster right now. I'm sorry, I cannot remember his name, but yes, Bell. So my point is, we need you to trumpet those things. I have a few little comments on NIL. I think it's different everywhere. I don't really know all the P's and Q's because I don't deal with it much in Division II. What I deal with really is the everyday NIL of going out, seeing donors, talking to groups like this, doing a golf tournament like we're getting ready to do, and you folks putting money in our foundation that allows us to sign more players and to have summer programs. All real college football programs have probably 90% of their players here in the summer. It's nothing for Florida State. They just get, write a check. They got all these donor, whatever. But your money here, I should put some orange on for you right now. Okay? I know that this is a great fundraising group, okay? But the money that you put into Coach's pocket, and I'm not talking about his actual pocket, I'm talking about his program, that allows him to sign more players. And those 63 scholarships that you have in FCS, a lot of places, that I don't know how it works at FAMU, but that doesn't account for summer money. Well, summer school, for everybody in here, is not free. Okay? We have to pay for those things. And so that's my big challenge to our alumni, and they have done such a great job of having events and galvanizing things. And the good thing about summer school is it doesn't cost as much as it does in the fall and the spring. But the thing that is the most impactful is you got the guys in the summer, you have a strength coach that wants to work them out, and now they don't have to take a loan out, they don't have to work some ridiculous job. They're not in some kind of financial crisis to play the game that they love to play and to pursue their education at the school that they love to pursue it at. And to me, that's game changing. So maybe it's not your business, sponsoring, Isaiah Land to sell whatever, but when you put him in summer school, that's a heck of an NIL right there. All right? So with that, I'm free to take questions or bids, and there you go.
All right, Coach, before we take questions, I want you to have a seat. And we're going to show you a video. Coach didn't mention it, so I didn't want to mention it before him because I didn't know what he was going to say today. But at Albany State last year, right before their rivalry game against Fort Valley State on the Monday, one of the players was on his way to practice, and there's a kind of 6-lane street between the main campus and where they practice football. And Adonis Butler, who wore number 57, was struck by a bus and died on the Monday before the rivalry game. So my dad always taught me as a journalist, even when it doesn't feel right, you have to document it. And so I started documenting it, as I was up there. And it ended up, I had no idea what was going to happen in the game Saturday, but if we hit the light, I'll show you a quick video about the Fountain City Classic. It's tough to decide if the 31st annual Fountain City Classic was a football game or a movie. The week started as a tragedy and ended as a drama. On Monday, November 2nd, it was as if the world had stopped rotating on the campus of Albany State University. Word quickly spread of a fatal accident on campus. When the dust settled, Albany State football player Adonis Butler, who wore number 57 with the Golden Rams, was deceased following a bus accident on campus. Butler was on his way to football practice. A cloud hung over the campus and the city, a week that was normally rivalry week, and the annual Fountain City Classic took a back seat as the university tried to deal with the unthinkable. Coach Gabe Giardina and his staff had to deal with the balance of grieving and consoling the players and preparing for their arch rival, Fort Valley State.
And couldn't be proud of the coaches, the way they held everybody together this week, and just super proud of the staff, and really excited for Albany State.
The players and staff decided to honor their fallen comrade with a victory against the Wildcats and dedicated the game to his memory.
Long live AD, that's my brother.
The Fountain City Classic is known for some of the best tailgating in all the country, and this year would be no different. While the grills were smoking in the parking lot, Fort Valley State head coach Maurice Flowers was preparing his team in bracing for a battle with the SIAC Eastern Division champions. Fort Valley State band and cheerleaders joined in the festivities. On the other sideline, there was but one focus, and from the opening kick, it was apparent that ASU would dominate in memory of their fallen teammate number 57. Hollywood actor Chris Tucker performed the pregame coin toss, and even he knew that it was going to be ASU's day. Quarterback Deontay Banu took this first touchdown in himself on the Rams' first drive. As the game went on, the defense became stronger, holding Fort Valley State to just 148 yards of total offense. By halftime, between a smothering defense, solid special teams, and a potent offense, Albany State was up 38-0. As the second half started, ASU kept applying the pressure.
I mean, we were sitting there at halftime, and I said, how do we score 19 points? And they're like 2 touchdowns and a safety and a field. And I'm like, it's like never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? And then we just said, just whatever. We'll see what happens. And like, let's just go score. And then, you know, when we kicked the field goal, we knew we needed 9. And they're like, well, hey, we can kick now and try to score 6 later. And, you know, so we had the one drive in between where we didn't really piss a drop. And I went to the OC, I was letting him call. I said, Adam, throw the ball. We have to score. And we said we're going to take a knee after that. And I don't know if I've ever seen a more special moment on a football field. Everybody knew it. Everybody wanted to get the ball to his mom. And coincidentally, everybody on our whole team got a personal foul because they rushed the field. But I'm just so happy that we were able to honor AD, but also just honor the Lord and just get a blessing out of this.
Fortunately, Gabriel Giardina added his fourth field goal of the day to bring the score to 51-0. With backup quarterback Jaden Sullivan under center, he rolled out on a bootleg and threw a 37-yard strike to Jaleel Johnson, who had beat his defender badly on a post pattern. The score put the Golden Rams up 57-0, and the whole team got a penalty as they marched down toward the scoreboard to soak up the moment. They had done it. They scored 57 points. The roar of the ASU fans, students, and alumni as they realized what had just happened was a moment to just soak in. Giardina called for a kneel down of the extra point as not to disturb the perfect score.
For my boy AD, man, Superman. For Superman, 57. RPAD, man. We did it for you, bro. We had to. I got something to say to him. AD right there. He ain't never leave us. He right there. He right there. That boy right there. Yes, sir. That boy right there. Yes, sir. We got it. We got it. Man, we got it.
And the players honored their coach with a Gatorade bath. Making the ceremony more special was Adonis Butler's parents, his mom wearing his actual game jersey. The team dedicated the game ball to the family, and they participated in the post-game trophy presentation with the team. Steven Spielberg could not have written a script this well. Denzel Washington could not have played the role better, because it was real life. And on this day, the stars were in alignment for the Albany State University family. It was not just a win. It was not just a win in the Fountain City Classic. It was a perfect score, 57-0.
At about 23. So it's our level is like the NFL. All of our players are on a different amount of money, okay? And the guys who make more plays, they do tend to get more money. I do know that. But then we do have to have a great walk-on program to get us where we want to be. You know, we did not. This is the first FCS game we were going to play since I've been there. So it's obviously pretty exciting for us to be able to, step up a level and play such a great quality opponent and someone that is naturally just so close. I mean, I hate to say this. I know that the Rattler Nation is going to be this first home game, right? But the Ram Nation, we are going to make you guys some money, okay? I mean, we are going to show up. We are so excited. I mean, I can tell you this number of folks that have come up to me and just said, hey, it's been a long time since we played FAMU. Man, we're just so excited. I mean, this is going to be great. And just proximity-wise, with our alumni base being mostly in South Georgia and Atlanta, you will see a great representation of the Golden Rams there that day. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes. Yes.
Last time that the Rams came here, you're right. They moved us up. But Jake Gaither used to have a saying. Y'all know what he used to say? Somebody's got to pay for that.
Well, the good thing is me and Coach are not going to settle it with a 40-yard dash because he would whip my tail, especially after eating that great food over there. Oh, my gosh. All right, so we're going to let the players decide. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Uh-oh. Hey, I've been, I tell you, I've been in church and Corey has gone like this to me before from the choir loft. I'm like, I said, you praising or you? My fault. Go ahead. Yes. What was his name? Willie Dixon. There you go. I will do that. Thank you. Yes, sir. Grover Stewart.
Okay, I like to hear about guys like that and success from HBCU
Sure.
because it shows, you know, if given a chance,
Absolutely.
they can shine. And I just wanted to point out, you said he was number in the top 10 defensive line.
Yeah, he's. Yes, sir.
Okay, that shows that he can, you know, play and succeed.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to point out, you mentioned Buddy Hughes, Darius Leonard from South Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
He's the highest paid linebacker.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah, they're on the same.
That's right. And if Coach Pugh were here, he would have told us all that 12 times. Coach knows that. Because Buddy likes to talk. No, no, he's great. He's great. Oh, you know, that's like the $64,000 question. Here's how I say it to everybody. I want us, and you're going to hate this answer, okay? I want us to be the best at getting better all the time. So when we go out there every day, I want to get better. And if that means if we play our best and we lose to FAMU, then I'll be satisfied. If we play terrible and beat anybody, I'm going to be upset. So I just want to be the best at getting better, and I want our effort to outwork our mouth. And I think if we do those two things as men on that football field, man, we're going to be set up not just to be a great football team, we're going to be great at life. Thank you. Go ahead. Yes, sir. We lost to Valdosta State 21-7, and we lost in the playoffs to West Georgia. And I want to say it was like 24-14, something like that, maybe 24-10. So there you go.
Of course, I heard that loss to Valdosta State was closer than the score.
It was close. We started the game at 9:45, you know. I told him if we don't start this game by 10 o'clock, we're going home. So all of a sudden the lightning disappeared. So.
7?
Coach, on behalf of the Rattler Boosters, thank you. And Vaughn, that was a great program. That film, that was really, that was great. Like someone said, you thank Vaughn for how he saved you. We knew what you were getting. I have two things that I'd like to mention to you all. One is I just wanted to bring you an update on our video equipment program that we've started here about 6 weeks ago. We need approximately about $3,000, and we would have reached our goal. And if anybody don't know what we're talking about, see me, and I'll update you. We're in the process of upgrading all our video equipment for football. And you guys have been tremendous because when we set out for this and I saw what the wish list was, oh, I didn't know we had asked for this much, but you guys have come through, and I want to thank you. And if you haven't had an opportunity, see me, and I'll let you know what you need to do. The second thing is our kickoff. We normally have our annual football kickoff in August. We have not set a date yet, but we know that we've always tried to do it the weekend before the first football game. Now, we got a little hiccup here this year because on Saturday, August the 20th, that date has already been taken by the president because he has his grape stomp fest on that day. So we won't try to compete with the president. So we're looking at going perhaps on Sunday afternoon, because we've had this on Sunday afternoon. It's always been very successful. You get a chance to go to church, and then you come back and come out and break bread and meet the Rattlers and get your autographs and those type things. So right now we're probably looking at tentatively on the 21st. But what I need is people, committed members and committed chairs to work. So we're probably gonna have about 8 committee chairs and as many people that we need to be on the committee to get the job done. So please see me. If you don't see me, let me give you cell phone number, 850-445-9689. Text me, call me, and I guarantee you I'll be back in touch with you. So thanks again, everybody.
Coach,
I just want to say one more thing, how I got to Albany State. The position, the current SID there left about a month before the season. And if you know anything about preparing for a season, that's suicide. So I got a call from Coach Moore. I said, no, Coach, I left for SID position. I'm not interested. 2 days later, I got another call from Coach Moore. Asked me if I could recommend, so I recommended some people. She called all of them, and they were already in positions, and they weren't willing to relocate. So she called, and she called, and she called, and she called. To the point where I say, well, Darlene, I'll come for a while. And I quickly understood that I needed to be there during football season to help Albany State get through there. Good friend of mine, Mark Lyles, played at Albany State. Mark always talking about he was a defensive back and how he could not guard Ray Alexander. I say, well, Mark, nobody could guard Ray Alexander. But the people at Albany State were amazing. My sister went to Albany State as a professor, and Dr. Henry Lewis actually brought her back to FAMU, but it took some getting used to because it's quite a nice place. And they actually have 2 campuses now because they absorbed Darton College, 2 beautiful campuses. So I had 2 offices, keys to, the president tried to recruit me and everything. But I appreciated my time there, but I just think a younger guy with some more energy could do that. But me and Coach G always had a great relationship. I'll tell him, if you need me, call me. Now, today, Dr. Walker isn't here to see me have on my Ram shirt under my FAMU shirt. I dressed up the FAMU part. I got my distinguished alumni pin and everything on there, so I thought I was going to have to fight her today. But anyway, Coach G and the Albany State Rams, we're looking forward to them coming in. We'll have a good time and send them back up 19.
last word, Coach.
Y'all give Coach Garcia another hand. Giardina, sorry. Again, when like you talked about, we play games against one another. It's competitive. It's highly competitive. But when you meet coaches who share your vision, who are doing it for the right reasons, again, it really makes for a better relationship. Coaching is no different than any other profession, right? You've all been educators, professionals. There's some good teachers out there, and there's some that, you wonder how they're teaching people's kids, right? There's some good police officers, and there's some that you never want to get pulled over by. And unfortunately, there's some really good football coaches, and then there's some that, again, same thing. You question how they ever able to lead a program, But so when you meet a coach like Coach Giardina, who, just the mutual respect we have for one another, again, it makes games like this worth it, right? And so again, we both have a job to do, come early September. But again, win, lose, or draw, the mutual respect we have for one another, extends far beyond what will happen on that Saturday afternoon. So again, just honored to be able to introduce him today to Rattler Nation and welcome him in. I'm really happy and proud that you didn't give him the same treatment you gave our SID when he showed up here, Vaughn. They about killed little poor Josh. They had to send Josh to therapy for a week after. So, they're a really nice group, Gabe. They really are. It's the greatest group alive. But again, we're excited right now. We're in the middle of summer, as we all know. Summer camps are going on across the country. We just hosted an offensive line, O-line, D-line, and kicking camp last week. We also attended Florida State's mega camp, which Coach and his staff did as well. And this week we had the bright idea to host a little Rattlers camp. And so from Monday to this Friday, we're hosting the babies. Right? So we got about 50 little kids from the ages of 5 all the way up to 13 that we're giving instruction to and all of that. So if you come out and see me running down Wanish Way, Okaloosa or Perry Street, I've had enough. So, but no, they've been really, really good, and it's exciting to get the youngsters out there, and that's when football is pure. They know nothing about NILs. They know nothing about the NFL, right? They just see a football and they want to go out there and tackle somebody, and that's what we all started doing. We started playing this game a long time ago, so it's good to give back to the community. So again, if you don't have anything to do, if you want to come out here and get in the sun and help give some instruction to some little kids, we're looking for some volunteers, and so I'm sure the coaches would love to see you come out there and take some pressure off them. But no, we're excited about what's to come. We'll get through this summer camp schedule, and then obviously we report, in July. So second session starts June 20th, and so we should have the bulk of our team returning here next week, and we can get rolling, right? So again, we're continuing to push the nutritional aspect. We'll be reaching out to Selvin and Eddie about some of the things that we are looking to do, before the season starts, and had a meeting yesterday, a game operations meeting that, of course, we have frequently, and talking about the cooling station, the tent. And so there will be some specifications that have to be worked out as far as the connections, the hookups, where we'll put it. So we'll be obviously in contact, Eddie, about getting the gentleman, is it Brian? What's it? Paul, yeah. So getting with Paul to see, kind of walk the field and see exactly where we want to put it, to make sure that we have enough space between the field and the station, because, of course, we want people going in there because they're overheating, not because they ran into it and take them in there because they got a concussion. So make sure that it's safe, far enough away from the fields where we can operate and be safe. But exciting times, huge season. Like I said, great expectations for Coach and great expectations for the Rattlers. Like I said, they weren't satisfied with having the best record in the SIAC and going to the playoffs, just like we weren't satisfied of making the playoffs for the first time in 20 years, right? There's much more work to be done. The expectations, I'm sure, and go to Ram Nation are extremely high. And, of course, expectations in Rattler Nation are through the roof, like they always have been. So we're looking forward to it, excited about it. And, again, just great to have Coach here. And, of course, there'll be, I'm sure, other coaches that we'll invite over to do these. So, again, good to see everyone. I guess Eddie will let me know if I'm scheduled to be back next week or the week after. And catch me before I go on vacation, because once I go on vacation, then I'll be tripping with the family. So any questions for me before we let you beautiful people go? Yes, ma'am, Miss Brenda. in Gainesville. Do you know what date that is? I have to check my calendar. I can't. Maybe. Well, reach out to and make sure that they follow up with me about. I know there's a scholarship. Is that the same? Is that the scholarship event down there? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to be there. But we will start the strike tour, resume the strike tour rather, in Jacksonville on June 23rd. And so I submitted some dates to Interim A.D. Smith about what my availability is for the next couple of weeks. So looking forward to getting on the road, getting down to the various chapters, up into Atlanta to raise some much needed funds for the program. And again, you see the struggles that we all have, right? Coaches operating underneath the scholarship limit. And if I was a betting man, I'd probably say the school that went up against may have been closer to fully funded scholarship-wise. So we are fully funded, but obviously we do know that we have other challenges, that need to be addressed. So again, but appreciate everyone. Good to see everyone last weekend throughout the National Alumni Association week. And again, we talked a lot about where we are. So, Coach, I know you had one. That's why I stood up here so long. I was just waiting on you to get it in. No, trust. But again, and last point to that, just kind of goes to relationship. There was a young man that we had recruited, had actually signed and committed, and that ended up not getting everything done academically. He needed to enroll, and once we knew that, the first call I made was to Coach Giardina. And he's fortunately from Albany, so it made it a lot easier to get him there. But again, it just shows the mutual respect and relationships because, it's about helping these young men, and again, the heart that he has for these guys, I got to see it firsthand for the week. And, the crazy thing is, we got to coach some of the best players in HBCU football for those 3-4 days. And I'm sure Coach can share the same sentiment. You'll be surprised at how many of those guys I've still that I've been in contact with, guys from Texas Southern and Mississippi Valley and Grambling and some of the other schools, just staying in contact. Again, we were only with them for 2-3 days, right? But just the impact that we as coaches have on these young men and the bonds that we can build, it's so much more than about wins and losses. Obviously, we want to win and expected to win, but it goes far beyond that. So Coach Moore knows all about that with with what she's done. And I saw your old buddy Coach Wiggins yesterday. So saw Coach Wiggins yesterday. She was buying her season tickets. So Coach Wiggins was up there at the box office getting her season tickets. So make sure you've done that. If you have not, make sure you get your season tickets to Orlando. To Miami for the Classic. Look forward to seeing everyone down in Miami Gardens as well. So we need a sellout. We need a sellout for Miami. And then when Coach comes here, let's show him how we do there in Bragg, right? He said they're going to help out. Albany State's going to bring a bunch of people, but let's see if we can pack out Bragg Stadium, our first home game, as we get ready for the season. So God bless everyone. Appreciate you guys for having us, and we'll see y'all next week. Go Rattlers.
Thank you, Coach. Don't forget, we're off next week. I mentioned we're having a convention here. I mentioned my anniversary. I forgot to mention my grandson competing for the national championship in science in Orlando next week. So we got all those things coming. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Yes.